Listen close, bro, because I'm about to drop the craziest truth in basketball history. Nobody wanted this kid. I mean, absolutely nobody. Teams looked at him like he was yesterday's news. Scouts dismissed him as not athletic enough for today's NBA, and analysts wrote him off before he even stepped foot on American soil. But guess what? That exact kid they all rejected, that player every team said no thanks to, is now the NBA's worst nightmare, terrorizing defenses and making general managers lose sleep over the biggest drafting mistake of their careers. Meet Alperen Şengün, the Turkish basketball savant who went from completely unwanted to absolutely unguardable, proving every single doubter, every skeptical scout, every franchise that passed on him dead wrong in the most spectacular fashion possible. Picture this, a big, methodical-looking kid from Giresun, Turkey, a small coastal town where soccer reigns supreme and basketball is barely an afterthought. While American prospects were getting ESPN documentaries and hype videos, Alperen was grinding in near-total European obscurity, developing a game that looked like it belonged in a 1990s time capsule, rather than the modern, pace-and-space NBA. Post moves that would make Hakeem Olajuwon smile, check. Footwork so precise it could be taught in basketball academies. Elite. Basketball IQ that operated on a completely different frequency, through the roof and still climbing. But when it came to the modern NBA prerequisites, that's where the so-called experts started shaking their heads. Athleticism, not even close to NBA level, they declared. Speed. He'll get cooked in transition defense, they warned. Shooting range, he can't stretch the floor, they insisted. Vertical leap, he plays below the rim, they noted. At just 16 years old, he was already dominating grown men in the Turkish Basketball Super League, putting up numbers that made seasoned veterans look like they should consider early retirement. But when he declared for the 2021 NBA draft, the silence from NBA front offices was deafening. Scout after scout filed reports saying he's a project. He won't survive defensively in today's game. He's a dinosaur in today's positionless basketball. The disrespect wasn't just real, it was universal. But the Houston Rockets, in what would unquestionably become the draft steal of the decade, made a bold move to trade up and grab him with the 16th pick, and the rest of the league. They had no earthly idea they'd just allowed a sleeping giant, a basketball prodigy, a future All-NBA player to fall directly into the hands of a franchise desperate for a new cornerstone. The nightmare for every team that said no thanks to the Turkish Phenom was officially about to begin, and there was absolutely nothing they could do to stop it. When Alperen first arrived in Houston, the expectations surrounding him were so incredibly low they were practically subterranean. Most basketball analysts, including some well-respected voices in the media, predicted he'd spend his entire rookie year anchored to the bench, maybe getting some meaningless garbage time minutes in blowouts, and probably requiring 3 or 4 full seasons of development before he could even crack the regular rotation. But from his very first summer league appearance, Şengün started doing things on the basketball court that made people's jaws literally hit the floor and stay there. While other young big men were trying desperately to become athletic freaks and highlight reel dunkers, Alperen was out here playing basketball chess at grandmaster level, while everyone else was struggling with checkers. The passing ability he displayed, absolutely ridiculous for a player his size. We're talking no-look dimes that hit cutters in perfect stride, behind-the-back assists that seemed to defy physics, full-court outlet passes that traveled 80 feet and landed softly in a teammate's hands as if guided by GPS. The post-game, a beautiful throwback masterpiece that belonged in a basketball museum, dream shakes that left defenders grasping at air, up-and-under moves that created easy baskets out of nothing, hook shots with both hands that had opponents looking completely bewildered and lost. The basketball IQ operating in his mind. It was like he had a supercomputer processor, calculating angles, passing lanes, and defensive rotations that normal basketball players couldn't even perceive, let alone exploit. The Rockets' coaching staff quickly realized they hadn't acquired a typical project player. They had discovered a BONAFIDE prodigy who was ready to contribute meaningful, game-changing minutes right now, not years down the road. His rookie season transformed into a continuous showcase of "I told you so" moments. Every time he made a brilliant, heady play, it served as another emphatic middle finger to every single franchise that had passed on him in the draft. But the real "oh crap, what have we done" moment for the entire NBA came during his second professional season, when Houston's front office and coaching staff decided to rebuild their entire offensive system around him, making him the primary facilitator and focal point. And brother, did he ever deliver in spectacular fashion. The numbers started looking like something created in a video game, with the difficulty setting turned all the way down triple doubles as a center, which is practically illegal in today's NBA. assist averages that would make starting point guards blush with jealousy, and scoring efficiency numbers that had analytics departments across the league, creating entirely new metrics just to properly measure his unprecedented impact. Every single team that passed on him was now watching in horror and regret as this too slow kid, this not athletic enough prospect, was absolutely dominating their highly touted frontline players night after night. The nightmare they never saw coming was now showing up on their regular season schedule twice a year, and there was absolutely nothing they could devise, no defensive scheme they could implement, to slow down the Turkish tornado they had all foolishly underestimated. Fast forward to right now, today, and what we're witnessing from Alperen Şengün isn't just gradual improvement or steady development. It's a complete and utter takeover of the entire NBA landscape. The man they all rejected, the player every team said no to, is now putting up statistical numbers that are so absurd, so historic, so mind-boggling that opposing teams are literally holding emergency strategy meetings trying to figure out how to contain him. Because let's be completely honest here, actually stopping him has proven to be completely impossible. Let's break down the absolute nightmare he's become for the rest of the league. On December 3rd against the Sacramento Kings, Şengün absolutely eviscerated their defense for 28 points and 10 rebounds while basically playing the game on easy mode, as if he was competing against middle schoolers rather than professional athletes. But here's where the situation becomes absolutely terrifying for every other franchise in the NBA. He currently possesses the best offensive rating in the entire league, a staggering 129, among all players receiving significant minutes. Let that monumental statistic truly sink in for a moment. When Alperen Şengün is on the basketball court, the Houston Rockets are scoring more efficiently than any other team with any other player in the world's best basketball league. His season averages are the stuff that legends are made of: 23.1 points, 9.1 rebounds, and 7.1 assists per game. Let me repeat that earth-shattering number for emphasis: 7.1 assists per game as a center. That's higher than most starting point guards currently in the league. The three-point shooting improvement has been nothing short of dramatic and revolutionary, from being universally labeled a non-shooter and floor spacer liability to now legitimately stretching defenses out to the three-point arc and beyond, forcing opponents to completely rethink their defensive strategies against him. The 2025 All-Star selection wasn't just another nice accomplishment or participation trophy. It was the entire NBA collectively admitting through their voting, yeah, we really messed up by not drafting this generational talent. Basketball analysts and experts who once doubted his potential are now consistently calling him a top-5 center in today's NBA. And some particularly bold commentators are even placing him in the best center in the entire league conversation without hesitation. What's absolutely petrifying for every franchise that passed on him is the undeniable reality that he's still only 22 years old. He's literally just getting started on what promises to be a first-ballot Hall of Fame career, and every single game he plays serves as another painful reminder to 29 other teams. You had a legitimate chance to draft me, and you arrogantly said no. Now you have to live with that catastrophic mistake for the next decade or more. The nightmare isn't showing any signs of ending. If anything, it's just intensifying and becoming more horrifying for everyone who foolishly underestimated his transcendent talent. So what's next for the kid that absolutely nobody wanted, who has transformed into the NBA's worst nightmare? The revenge tour isn't just continuing, it's just getting started and building momentum with each passing game. We're talking about a 22-year-old franchise cornerstone who's playing with a chip on his shoulder the size of Mount Everest, a burning desire to prove every single doubter wrong for the remainder of his career, and a relentless motivation that comes from knowing 29 teams looked at him and said, "Not good enough for us." But beyond the incredible statistics, the growing list of accolades, and the expanding highlight reel, Alperen Şengün's extraordinary journey teaches us the most powerful, universally applicable lesson about success, resilience, and overcoming adversity. Sometimes being universally rejected is actually the greatest gift the universe can give you. His remarkable story from being overlooked by everyone to becoming an unstoppable basketball force proves beyond any doubt that external validation means absolutely nothing in the grand scheme of things. What truly matters, what actually makes the difference between success and failure, is your internal belief system, your relentless work ethic, and your ironclad determination to prove every single naysayer completely and utterly wrong. While 29 NBA franchises were desperately searching for the next athletic freak, the next high-flying dunker, the next physical specimen, they all completely missed the basketball savant who was quietly, diligently, masterfully perfecting every single aspect of the game in European obscurity. Their collective loss became Houston's incredible gain, and now the entire league must deal with the long-term consequences of their catastrophic scouting failure. So I need to ask you directly and urgently, who's rejecting you right now in your life? Who's telling you you're not good enough, not smart enough, not talented enough, or not worthy enough? What dream are people confidently declaring is completely impossible for you to ever achieve? What goal are others dismissing as ridiculous or unrealistic for someone with your background or circumstances? Take an intensive masterclass directly from Şengün's Revenge Playbook. Use every single rejection as rocket fuel for your ambition. Turn every doubt into unbreakable determination. Transform every no into motivation to become so exceptionally great that people have no choice but to regret not believing in you sooner. Your rejection isn't the conclusion of your story. It's the powerful beginning of your greatest comeback narrative ever written. The people who fail to see your value today will inevitably be begging for your attention tomorrow. The doors that seem firmly closed right now will swing open wider than ever once you demonstrably prove your worth through action and achievement. Drop a comment below right now and tell me exactly who you're determined to prove wrong. And if you genuinely believe that the sweetest, most satisfying revenge is achieving massive success, then do me a significant solid. Smash that like button into oblivion. Subscribe for more incredible stories of rejected underdogs who transformed into legends. And hit that notification bell so you never miss when we passionately break down the next player who's making the entire world regret ever doubting their potential. Your personal revenge story is waiting impatiently to be written. Now go out there and make it absolutely epic and unforgettable.